Hello, Kimberly Stratman of To The Point Coach. This video is going to be originally directed at my retirees and the folks thinking about retirement. And then I got to thinking it's really for all of us. So it's actually directed at everybody, my bold and brave women and my retirees. My goal is for you to thrive. So what we're going to talk about today are things that you can do to thrive while you're aging. It's never too late. It's never too late, no matter what, it's never too late, but it does do you well to start earlier. So the earlier you can start doing this, the better, but just remember, it's never too late. So let's look at aging to begin with. I'm talking about aging when you get in your late 40s, your 50s, 60s, and beyond. It is a very unfortunate fact, unfortunate for me at least, that our bodies stop production and growth as we get into our 40s, actually a little bit sooner than that, but it definitely shows up in our 40s, and it turns over to maintenance. So at a cellular level, our body is pretty much just trying to keep what it has. So you're not necessarily growing anything extra, you're not building as much muscle anymore. So we really need to be careful of what we do to take care of what we have. The information I'm referring to, most of it comes from Dr. Frank Lipman. He is a doctor. I have found his information on a lot of sources recently, and that was a sign to me when I keep finding it in different sources that it's time to share it. I have a book of his right here called The New Rules of Aging Well by Dr. Lipman and Danielle Claro from 2020, I believe it was. I've read several articles from him in different magazines, including Experience Life. So really good sources to get some information. And they do have the research backing it. So let's look at some 10 essentials for aging well. The first one is not going to make a lot of us happy, and it's to simply just eat less. Less calories, just eat less. Now remember, as we're getting towards our 60s, we need to increase our protein. So it decreases in our 40s and our 50s, our need for protein, but it increases, 60, 62 years of age, our need increases. So you're going to be eating less calories with high quality protein in there, which means you have to make very, very good decisions on the rest of the foods that you eat in those calories. And when it comes to food, let's look at eating less time. In other words, try to fast, intermittent fasting. We're not talking 24 hours, 48 hours a week. We're not talking water only. We mean don't eat for 16 hours of the 24-hour time period. The easiest way to do that, and what is suggested because it's easy, is to eat your first meal of the day later and your last meal of the day earlier. By doing that, it naturally widens the window of time that you are not eating. And why does this matter? Because our body needs time to recover and heal and process everything. We do better with our gut not working 24 hours a day. Remember, when you sleep is when your body recovers. It's when your brain recovers. It's when our brain processes information from the day before. It gets information and facts put into memory. It's where we heal. And if your body isn't spending a lot of energy breaking down food and dealing with heavy meals and stuff, it's able to do everything else that it is supposed to do. The next fact we're going to look at also has to do with eating in our gut, and that is taking care of your gut. Know what works for you. There are some people who can eat whatever they want and think they feel fine. There's other people, they eat something they know within 2 hours or the next day or 2 days later that they're not feeling very good. Dairy, gluten, those are things that bother a lot of people. So just be aware of it. Corn, mushrooms, potatoes. I could list a whole lot of things that are healthy foods, but that not everybody can eat. Probiotics, very, very important. Prebiotics, very, very important. Eat foods that have to be refrigerated because of the probiotics, prebiotics that are in it. Sauerkraut, stuff along those lines, very, very good for your gut, very good for your gut. So keep that in mind. So we've already mentioned eating less, opening your fasting window, and taking care of your gut. Now this next one is a hard one for a lot of people, but my goodness, you're gonna get such immediate results, and that is cutting your sugar. And there are people that say, oh no, you can have sugar every single day, just be careful not to have too much. Well, that might work for you, but some people it doesn't work. Some people, as soon as they consume processed sugar, they start having some gut issues, their joints hurt, they have mood swings, they're not sleeping very well. So cutting sugar is so important for so many people. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of people who don't necessarily know what sugar means. We're not talking about the apple, we're talking about the baked good, we're talking about the sugar that you put into your drinks, the juices that you drink that have the sugar added, and the soda. There are some people in our population that do need to be careful with the amounts of fruit sugar that they consume. They have to be careful of that. So it's not to say that fruit is bad for you, but just be aware that there are different amounts of sugars in different fruits and find out what works best for you. Number 5, sleep more and sleep better. All of the things that we've listed so far can actually help you sleep better. They can help you sleep longer and sleep deeper. I'm not going to go into the science of all this, but I already mentioned that sleep is so important for us, for our brains to recover and heal like they're supposed to process information. And every cell in your body benefits from sleep. There are people who say, I only need 3 hours of sleep. It's debatable. You might still be doing very well on 3 hours of sleep, but maybe you could be doing better with more. And remember, you can oversleep also. So, 13, 14, 15 hours of sleep, if you're not ill and if you're not recovering from something, that can actually be too much sleep for your brain and your body. So sleep more and sleep better. Number 6, get active every day. There's some people, and I will admit that I have done this before, I'll do very hard workouts 3 days a week and maybe not move around as much as I should the other days of the week. It's so easy to get busy doing something and not move around. 10,000 steps a day is kind of what people aim for. We know that 2,000 steps a day can be excellent for your health. And people say, oh, I get that, I definitely get that. Well, you'd be surprised how little steps that you get day-to-day life, moving around the house, getting out of the car and stuff like that. You almost really need to add a walk or add something intentional into your day to get the 3,000 steps, to get the 10,000 steps. There is a documentation of the benefits you get at 2,000 steps, 3,000 steps, 5,000 steps, and then 10,000 steps. If you can't even fathom getting 2,000 steps right now, just get up and move a little bit. 10 extra steps is a win. Try to move every hour that you are awake. Set an alarm for that. Get up, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, take the dog out, put the clothes in and out of the dryer, whatever it takes to get steps in every hour of the day that you're awake. Mind the alcohol. Be very careful of the alcohol. That can really sneak up on us. We get used to having a glass of wine here or there, or get used to having that beer here and there, the mixed drinks. Just be careful. It can really rob you from your quality of life. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And again, we're not talking about hydrate with the alcohol, but hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Good, clean water, filtered water is so good for your body. Iced tea or hot tea is good for your body if it doesn't have a lot of chemicals added to it, a lot of sugar added to it. Coffee is the same thing. Coffee can actually act as a diuretic, so you do want to be careful of that. But hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. A really easy way to think about it is take your body weight, divide it by 2, divide it in half, and try to get that many ounces of water a day. Some juice can count. Again, watch out for sugar. Some milk can count. Watch out if you aren't able to consume dairy. Water is your best bet. There are a lot of people that report feeling great if they, first thing in the morning, they have a nice big glass of warm water, maybe add some lemon oil or lemon juice to that, drink that down, get everything going in your gut, get things moving around, but hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Research shows that many of the health issues that people who are aging report are due to being dehydrated. You do not think appropriately when you are dehydrated. You don't move appropriately when you're dehydrated. You don't sleep like we need to sleep when you're dehydrated. I almost wish this was moved to the number one thing for us to do, which is hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Okay, you've heard me mention often, just about every video, that we need a support system. Now, we're not talking about a plethora of relationships, just a couple if that's how you're wired, but people that need you and people that you need. Now, I know the population that I'm talking to, we think we don't need anybody. We are survivors and we don't trust anybody, we don't need anybody. We're not going to thrive that way. We actually do, people. We were made to be in community. It's up to you to decide how large or small that is. Some people want a whole bunch of people. They're extroverts. They just thrive with a lot of people around them, always out, go, go, go. Others need to be a little bit closer to home. Maybe just a couple people that matter to them. There's a lot of things that you can do to increase your circle. Doesn't mean you got to be best buddies. You don't have to have them in your home, but go out and volunteer. Go to the library and read. Go out and get a cup of tea and talk to some people while you're in this. Don't have to even sit at the same table, but just interact with them. And it was mentioned the other day, it's very important, is who is your 3:30 a.m. person? When something happens in your life and you have to call somebody and you don't have to worry about that you haven't been taking care of them or haven't been keeping up with them, but they're going to be there to help you, who is that person? You might not be able to name somebody like that right now. Well, that's a goal. Just work on it. And remember, you can be somebody's 3:30 a.m. person also. So very important, so very important. I could go on and on and on about the studies that have shown that the number one thing that talks about the quality of our life as we age is the community that we have allowed ourselves to be a part of and that we've allowed into our lives. And the last thing I'm going to mention, which I think is kind of funny, is have a sense of humor. You just got to laugh about it. It's so easy to get down on what we can't do or what we used to do. But look at the experiences that we've had. Look at the people that we are now. We can be role models for people. We can be living exciting, vibrant lives, even if it isn't what we did 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Think about what we can do right now. Have those little inside jokes when it's appropriate. My girlfriends and I, oh my gosh, boy, do we have some things to say about what's happening to our bodies. Again, we just laugh about it. It's true. Some of it is very true, unfortunately, but we try to find the humor in it. There's no reason to not thrive as we get older. You can go back over the numerous videos that we've posted on this YouTube channel, and you can see quite a few topics that really require some effort and some energy, but they can be negative or they can be positive. My goal for you as a life coach and a retirement coach is that each of these things that we've talked about become a positive experience for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, like this video. Would love to hear your comments. Would love to hear your ideas on these topics and any other topic. So Kimberly Stratman, To The Point Coach. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.